it, Owen. Welcome to the show. You're on mute. You working? You're on? Are you there?
Hello,
G'day, guys. There we go. You go.
Okay, hello there. I'm sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties here.
Oh, Jesus.
Bit of a Marcus Allen going on over here.
Oh,
in the UK.
my goodness.
Welcome to
Cut
the
him.
Steel. We'll get on to him in a minute. Welcome to the Steel Syndicate podcast post-game show with me, your host, Britsburgh, Owen, speaking to you here in a very cold, wet, dingy, dark UK. Joined, I no doubt, in a very sunny, glorious down under.
It's coming out.
By my buddy, Mr. Mark Davison. Mark, how's it going, buddy?
Mate, very well. Been up since 5 a.m. I think it was a good game overall. I thought Steelers played one of them, maybe their first complete game. And there was two bonehead plays by Deontay Johnson, but I thought he had a pretty good game. We'll talk about that too. Exactly. 3, 2, 1 victory. But I think Marcus Allen had a bonehead play too from the very beginning. You know, that was just like dumb. The running game was well. Trubisky took care of the football. There was 2 passes where they were almost intercepted, but overall they had a good game. Like, I'm pretty happy, and we're still in it. The Jets lost. Now I think the Jaguars won, which is bad because the Jags can win the whole season and they can go to the playoffs. But step by step, we now have relevant football and meaningful football for the Steelers versus Raiders game, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Absolutely.
Still in it, man.
Still in it. So you're telling me, Mark, there's a chance?
Still a chance. It goes from 1%. If the Pats lose today and the Chargers lose today, then that 1% will probably go to about 5%. Because then we need the Jaguars to beat the Jets, and then we need the Jags to lose. It gets complicated, but things are happening the right way.
Mm-hmm. So I was just going to say welcome to Devil in the live chat. Do you know what, Mark? Devil, I think, just sits permanently, flicks between our channels because whenever I seem to go live, he always seems to be there straight away. Even if, like, I did an on the hoof, just quick pre-game today, and he just suddenly appeared. It's just amazing, man. Do you agree that obviously hello to Sean Manahan in the live chat as well, Michael O'Malley as well? Do you think I mean, let's deal with one of our live chat guys, a comment they've made, Mark. Sean Manahan says first complete game from start to finish all season. Mark, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it was. I think there was some good defense in there. Sure, there was some zone coverage issues with the receivers, but they made the Jets a one-dimensional team. The third down plays weren't the best, but the third and goals were pretty good, held in the field goals. Like I said, the one bonehead play for Marcus Allen, 4th and 27. They sacked Darnold a few times. They played a really good football game. They ran the ball well. Canada called some good plays. I thought overall Trubisky played well. You know, I thought, you know, it was a lot better. And dead set, that's a good point too. Played better against the run. We ran well. They ran bad. But a few bonehead plays, like from Marcus Allen and that kind of stuff, you got to be like, mate, what are you doing? You gave the team a spark, bit of a chance. It could have been a game that was 24. We're not going to score a lot of points, right? This team's not going to score a lot of points. But we could have won that game 24-6. Dead set. Could have won the game 27-6 because they gave them a chance to come back in the game. And the Jets went for a field goal too as well right near the end, and we won by 8 points. But that game was in our control, and I like the way they played.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Sean, and I agree with what you had to say, what you've got to say as well, Mark. I think it was from minute 1 to minute 60 a first complete 60-minute performance by the Steelers this season, and also I think what was majorly positive for me is the third quarter. You know, the fact that we received the ball, you know, and the fact that in that third quarter, we didn't do our usual complete malaise, our quick complete fall off, our complete fall apart. We went on that 20-play long drive, scored a touchdown through the Trubisky jump sneak. Something.
Yeah, even Trubisky wanted to have a bit of a go. I know he's playing for his backup role next year. And I know you and I had some comments about, you know, should they play Mason, should they play Trubisky? And he turned it around. Like heat of the moment, I was against Trubisky. Now, I'm not saying I'm on the Trubisky train right now, but he played some good football, and he's playing for his backup job in Pittsburgh next year. They need a backup behind Kenny. Kenny should be good to go if he's 100%. So he did what every backup needs to do. You know, he's not going to be a number one guy. He needs to be behind Kenny when he does go down and play a good game. And Michael's right. Time possession was outstanding. So he did what they needed to do, and it was a great game from Trubisky. And that's all I care about. Sneak away with a win and give yourself a chance next week. And if we are, you know, next year going say we're going, I don't know, 10-2 or 10-3, and say Pickett's out. If he's out, get away with a win. Then the next week you play Pickett and see what happens. He did that.
Absolutely.
So I thought it was a great game overall, man. Such a fun game.
Absolutely. I think, like I said, the third quarter, there was a stat in the third quarter that came up that the time of possession we had in the third quarter was better than the Panthers had in the entire game. I think we'd had the ball for about 14 minutes. They'd had it for 12 the entire game. So that is something the Steelers have really improved on. And I think, obviously, the running game has substantially improved time of possession.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that shortly. But, here's a Matt Quinn in the live chat says, solid win. Marcus Allen needs to be cut. Otherwise, solid run game, decent defense. I mean, let's deal with, this Marcus Allen incident and let's just talk it through for a minute. I don't understand, for me as a Steelers fan and as having the fact we had them where we wanted them, we had the back-to-back sacks, why Allen was even on the field. Why did he go over to their sideline? Because if you look, he went from the middle of the field all the way over to the sideline, stood in their huddle, started mouthing around the huddle. I mean, Mark, can you even try to begin to explain it?
No, it's something you don't do. It's a bonehead play. It's like there's a team bigger than you. Cameron Hayward needs to shake him by the shoulder pads and almost give him a pile driver, give him a suplex. Everyone in that locker room should not like go after him and yell at him, but they should be like, mate, what are you doing? Chris Boswell, when he called out Matt Canada, we didn't win because of you. I will be saying to Marcus Allen, we didn't win because of you. Like Dad said, you can't do that. In football, you're going to make yourself, if you're making yourself bigger than the team, then you start to lose. Also, there was a point too with Pickens walking over the ref near the end too. I didn't like that. Okay. We got to be better than this. These guys, the young guys with the ego, Pickens walked over the ref near the end. You can't do that. Could have been fined for that. So Marcus Allen doing that play, you're fourth on teams. You're behind Miles Jack, Devin Bush, you're behind Splain, you're probably even behind Mark Robinson, right? You're behind all these guys. You're the hype man guy. You're the best dancer on the team. You cannot go over the huddle and cost them the game. You can't do that. If that turns into a 7, if we lose this game, it's because of that reason. Things fall apart. Now the defense was playing. You got to do a 4th and 27, Owen. 4th and 27, and you're going to go out there and be a bonehead and go do that kind of stuff. Makes no sense. But we'll move on from that, and you get better. And a bit like Trubisky threw the game away last week and wasn't playing his best. You play the next game, you go versus the Raiders, and you go and do something special. But near the end of the game too, Marcus Allen missed the tackle. So I don't see how he's on the team next year. Come on, man, get someone else in there. Give someone a chance. Give someone from the practice squad a chance. Surely.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I've been with I've been with your mate and my mate Matty all along on this whole. I think he's been with the team far too long. He doesn't contribute anything to this team. And I know people come with this special teams malarkey and he contributes on special teams, but he's had 10 tackles this season in 14 games. That's it. That's all he's done. He's had the 10 tackles in 14 games. It's hardly game changing. And this is not the first time as well that he's acted like this. I mean, I think it was against the Bengals, Mark, where we were getting beat and he's dancing. Was that against the Bengals?
You've got it's probably every game. It's somewhat you've got to know your role, man. You've got to know your role in the situation of the team. Your defense goes out there and gets you a 4th and 27. You come in to do teams and you go and act like that and give away a penalty. It's just dumb. Like you can't do that. And that is one thing. I guess some of these players have to know their situation. Know the role where they're on the team, and go out like I just didn't like. And if you want to switch to the Deontay Johnson thing, you can't do that either. I miss the players like Larry Fitzgerald, like Hines Ward, where they would get up and smile, hand the ball off to the ref and move on. But we're in this new era now. We're in this like, hey, look at me, I made a big play. And they do a dance. And it's really frustrating. And of course, even TJ Watt does that too. TJ Watt makes a big sack and does a big dance too. They all do it. They're all showboat. But you got to do it the right way. You can't do it in front of the defender. You just can't. Do it to the crowd. Do it to your huddle. Do it to your sideline. Don't do it to the opposition because you're going to get in trouble. So these things need to be exactly right. T. Brennan's right. These individuals need to play some team football, but overall, the team played some good football today. They ran the ball so well. Shout out to Warren, man. Got his first TD today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's move away from the idiot that is Marcus Allen, and
Yeah.
let's hope that come season's end, that once he's goes into the free agency period, we don't re-sign him because he's a joke. So let's have a look at the running game, and like we alluded to earlier, Mark. I think the time of possession, if you look since the bye, has been a whole lot better, and that's been because the Steelers are now establishing the run. They are now running the ball more effectively. And Najee, I thought, was a fighter today again. I thought that he ran well. I mean, his stats today: 24 carries, 86 yards, 3.6 yards a carry and a TD. Jaylen Warren, I thought, was an absolute little wrecking ball. Do you know what? It must absolutely it must hurt to tackle him.
Oh yeah, because he leads with his head.
Really hurt to get.
I love the way he runs, man. I love these kind of stories with this kind of running back. He is steal the football, and someone said in my chat too, is Warren is Harris better than Warren? I said I don't think it really matters too much. Like I think the 1-2 punch is good. I think they're both good in their own elements. I think Najee Harris is getting out of his injury. I think he's running the football well. Now they're not running in the field for 40-yard carries, but they're running for a 3-yard, 4-yard, 5-yard, 8-yard, right? They're doing those kind of things. The average is pretty high right now. It's around 4.5 or something like that. They ran the ball 45 times. That's still a football, man.
Yeah, that is proper old school football, isn't it? And I think, Michael O'Malley says here, Warren and Najee 1-2 punch knockout. And I think, we're starting to see an element with Harris and Warren of like the old days, aren't we? Of like Bell and Connor or Bell and the guys. Is it Williams? Was it? I can't. The guys. D'Angelo Williams. Yeah.
D'Angelo Williams, when he was healthy for us, he was really good, dude. When he came in, he was running like a machine. He was almost like a number one. So it's not a bad thing that we have two. I wouldn't say Warren's number one, but it's not bad. They're both doing well. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And the Canada system, and shout out to Matt Canada. He's been playing. I haven't been yelling his name as much for Canada, and we are so reactive to the situation. But he's playing some good. He's calling a lot of games, and things are working out. And when Kenny gets back in this game, I can see some. They're so close to breaking 30. I think they're so close to breaking 30. And George Pickens getting the ball, but the way that Warren runs too is so exciting. Head down, and he's like, when they gave him the football to the goal line, right? After hitting someone, he gets 2 yards. So you might as well give it to him. He wants to go forward, man. He wants contact. He's a guy. Forward. Yeah, he wants contact. He even said to an interview, I think it was the other day, he said, I understand there are all pro players out there. There are superstars, yada, yada, yada. But when I'm on the field, I want to do my best. I want to be the best guy out there. And he shows that. Now, I kind of hope to a certain degree that like we don't get too crazy and making like the best running back in football. I kind of like that he's like an underdog. Do you know what I mean? Just let him play. Let him play in the background, undrafted guy. But shout out to him. He played well today, and he's getting more snaps as we go.
Yeah. We're answering Brian Harrington's question for a minute. He says, didn't see Benny Snell much. They know he didn't play at all on offense. He didn't have any snaps. But going back to what you said about Jaylen Warren, if you consider as well, he's Willie Parker's cousin. Parker was an undrafted free agent. Warren was an undrafted free agent. Parker was a fantastic success with the Steelers. Pat's history is actually repeating itself here. Michael O'Malley says Rocky Franco equals Harris and Warren. Well, you know what, Michael, I really do hope that one day we can talk about Najee and Jaylen in the same
They're only getting
breath
started.
As Franco and Rocky, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I think one of the encouraging things as well, Mark, I don't know whether you've noticed as well, but during the game, a lot of Harris's longer runs went to the left of the line. Today, I thought that Dan Moore and Kevin Dotson had a vastly improved performance again today.
And he's making those second stints too, where he's getting the sure, there are still some that go 2 yards, but a lot of them today were going 4, 5, 6, and then Najee Harris is fighting for the first down. I love that, right? Holding the football too. Knock on wood, no fumbles, no turnovers, right? We didn't turn the ball over at all, right?
No turnovers.
We played a good game, like overall. And besides the bonehead player, Marcus Allen, we could have had the win, 24 to something else, right? But this team is getting better each week. And I don't know whether, maybe it's a lesser opponent than the Carolina Panthers, but still, it's a football team. We're going out there to win. The Ravens stuck away with us. We won before. But I think overall, when you run the football like that, and when they score first, Michael O'Malley said when they score first, they win. They're 6-0 when they score first, and they're 0-8 when they lose. That's a season. That's a season right there. 6-8.
Absolutely. So I think the running tackle vastly positive. T. Brennan asks an interesting question here in the live chat. Did Freyamuth get any catches?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't. He didn't get a single catch today. So, I think you've got to ask the question: was he not perhaps fit? Was he not perhaps targeted because he isn't fit? I know he's been limping around and wearing a boot this week. So, overall, and I agree 100% with what Jennifer. I can't say Jennifer. I'm going to massacre your last name here. Prusa. Walk on rookie, gets his first TD. Fantastic, absolutely.
I'm so happy for him, man. I think he kind of what the Steelers need right now, some stability. And he's a guy that we keep for a while, right? If he plays this well, and I wish him all the health in the world, he can be a guy who's humble. He won't turn into an Antonio Brown. He'll be a guy in the locker room that can go out there and get the runs. He can be a guy that we can do a 1-2 punch, probably for a few seasons, and then maybe get a running back in the draft in a few years' time, or get someone to be third running back, and McFarland can be there. I don't know, but what I see from Warren is head down and straight at him. I love it. I love the physicality, man. It reminds me of some old school Steel football. And when I say old school, I even mean like back when Le'Veon Bell was putting his head down, or when Bettis was putting his head down. Like, I love seeing it. Love it.
Michael O'Malley says Derek Watt got some first downs as well. Derek Watt seems to be a 3rd and 1 machine, doesn't he? It seems to be the standard thing.
6 for 6 on carries, and he's got 6 first downs. They're using him correctly.
Have we finally found the correct use for a Derek Watt?
I think so. Like we give him a bit of flack in the offseason. I'm not saying he's fantastic, but the numbers are there. Give the guy the football, he gets a first down. If it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, it seems like he gets a first down. So the stats back it up. He's playing some good football. He's a head down kind of guy too. He also made some plays too when there was in as a fullback. He made some blocks too for Warren. I think the whole running game. Who's the running back coach? Eddie Faulkner.
Yes, Eddie Faulkner.
He should be very proud of this team, what they're doing with the O-line, and they're starting to click. Like, if they do if there's a chance of the playoffs, I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they're playing some good football, and I want to see them back it up against the Raiders, man. Because overall, Najee Harris are playing with a bit of spirit. These guys have something, like, finish the season strong, and for a lot of the tankers out there, not the guys in the chat, but a lot of tankers saying, you know what, we're going to lose for draft picks, makes no sense. Go out there, this winning culture, and even that pick from GP, the catch, will build over to next year. The winning culture will build over to next year.
Yeah, and Brian Harrington makes the same point. I think you were alluding to there, Mark, as well in the live chat. Our O-line played a good game today. I think the O-line did have a good game today. I think they gave up, was it 1 sack on Trubisky? That was it. But other than that, they did play. I thought they protected him well. He had time to pass the ball. They opened the gaps for them to run. So yeah, I was really pleased with that.
It's funny. They played well on weighty downs. We're going to use Mike Tomlinisms. They played well on weighty downs. They did. Overall, I think that the game was super fun to watch because you knew they could run the ball. Because the Carolina couldn't stop it, right? And we stopped their run game. And their only real negatives I found from this game was the 3rd and 13s, 3rd and 11s we can't stop, But they sacked Darnold so many times. Like, this was a game that I think Mike Tomlin, he's playing for a not losing season, dude. He really is. I know if we don't go to the playoffs, 3 games to go, he can go 9-8. And I think he's going to end the season strong. And then next year, you want to build a team up? Let's go to the draft. Let's get some more players.
Yeah, and you're right. I think we do need to play for a winning season. We do need to play for a winning end to the season. And like I've said a number of times, and I've been on record as saying this: fans who root for the team to lose aren't real fans. I don't care if you've been supporting the team since 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, whenever. If you root for your team to lose, you're not a real fan. You can't be. You can't want your team to lose. It makes no sense. And I was listening to our good buddy Noah Strackbine on All Steelers Talk earlier this week, and also DK as well. And they were both making the same point. Winning is a mentality. Yep. Winning, and I think Grid said the same thing, didn't he, on the Steel Syndicate podcast? Mm-hmm. If you get into the habit of losing, it is a very hard habit to get out of. But you take 4 victories from this season, and this season. We don't qualify for the playoffs. We do qualify for the playoffs. Doesn't matter. But we take 4 wins.
Either way, it's good.
Yeah, we take 4 wins. We go into next season having had a positive memory to finish on. Those young players have had a positive memory to finish on and build on. You go into next season having lost 4 games. Oh, yeah, great. You might get a top 10 draft pick. But you're going to have to, first of all, with the players you've already got on the roster, change their mentality, change their attitude, change the way they feel about themselves and the team, because you're going in losing. And that's what these tankers don't seem to understand. And I had a run-in on my live stream with someone saying that, it doesn't matter. We don't need to win. Let's just lose out.
Makes no sense. No sense at all. That we need, if we want the playoff chance, we need the Pats to lose and the Chargers to lose today, right? There's still a chance, right? But even the mentality, you go and win the game. You play and win the game. You tell Jalen Warren that doesn't make him feel good to get that TD. I'm so happy for that young guy, and I'm a young guy too. But I'm happy for that bloke. You know what I'm saying? If I met him in person, I'd shake his hand and say thank you. That's what I would do. I would. I'd say, mate, you're playing fantastic. Najee Harris. You know what it is? Sometimes the Tankers are a 5% representation of like the Steel fans. Steel fans who go to that game down to Carolina, who live in Carolina, they've been waiting all year for that game. Those fans who live in Carolina have been waiting all year for that to see their team in. You know what, too? Imagine telling kids this. Imagine telling your kids, you know what, let's lose today. I was almost going to swear for the first time in history, but never. That's malarkey. Imagine that. Imagine telling your kids who support the team, we need to lose 4 games. Makes no sense. No sense.
I don't think we're calling them fake fans, Michael. What we're saying is a fan, someone who supports a team, supports them to win. They don't support them to lose. I don't understand myself. I don't understand.
Like why? If you're taking your kids to the game, you're taking your family to the game. Why do you go into the game? I say, if you want your team to lose, right? Why watch? That's dead set. If you want your team to lose right now, and after a good win, the team's playing some good football, and it hurts to see our team lose. We're both pumped up. We're both excited for this week. If you want them to lose, why would you watch? So I'm saying the young kids who go to the stadium, they don't want to see their team lose. They want to see the Healers do great, and they all did great. Najee played well. The running game got 45 runs, right? And we're that close now, where I guess even if you do lose 4 in a row, what's the best they can get? Maybe a top 10, maybe top 11 or something like that.
Yeah. And I think, you know what, and I think like we've said on numerous occasions, the draft is a lottery. You can go and get a top 10 pick. Doesn't mean that player is going to be a great player in the NFL. Let's get back to today's game and let's have a look. Let's think about the receivers today. I mean, obviously, again, George Pickens confuses me, and I think that the Steelers' use of George Pickens today really confuses me, Mark. I mean, you look at his stats today: 2 receptions, 53 yards, 26.5 yards per catch. Why only 2 receptions again when he's averaging that high?
I guess maybe because we're going towards the run game more. You know what I mean? But it seemed like today that I don't know if they were avoiding him, but they were going towards DJ. DJ had a great game too. DJ had 10 for 10?
10 receptions, 98 yards, 9.8 yards per reception. But still no TD.
I don't know if it's not like an issue where, we're not going to Pickens, but when they do go to him, that 50-50 ball is not a 50-50 ball. It's more of a 60-40 when he's going up there. So I don't think it's actually a bad thing that they didn't target him too much. I thought the run game was working. Go to the run game. It's the team sport. You know, now in crunch time, if you're losing or if you want to put the score up even more, maybe possibly make the big play. But if those big plays don't come off, you're going to have a 3rd and 8. Right? They ran the ball on 1st and 2nd down. They started to move the ball, and running the ball 45 times is like, we have control. We're going to win this game. We're going to win on defense. So I thought it was an okay thing to not go his way. But if they decide to go his way more often than not, and he gets touches, then feed him. But I don't know, man. I'm not too worried about it, to be honest.
I mean, as well, thinking about Mitch Trubisky today. Mitch Trubisky 17 of 22, 179 yards, no TDs, Perfect. No interceptions. But do you think he played more like Kenny Pickett today rather than what we saw from Trubisky second half against the Bucs, second half against the Ravens? Was he more a Pickett-style quarterback? That Pickett, the way Pickett's been made to play, shall we say, this season?
Bit more conservative too. I think there was a few times where he threw the pass over the middle or to the sideline and might have been picked off. There was a few worrying moments. He did check down the ball though. He kind of took the sack when he needed to. But I thought like everything was kind of opening up. He kind of linked up with DJ really well. This was a Trubisky game to DJ. Besides his bonehead play, he played fantastic. Caught everything in front of him. Come back to the ball. Like he was linking up with DJ a lot, which he got about a few first downs too. So he came up, Trump's there and had a really good connection with DJ. So that's what you need. Like I don't mind seeing someone getting a big game like that. You can't feed the ball to everyone. You can't force the ball to everyone all the time. It was kind of funny that they didn't use Muth. I don't understand why they didn't use Muth, and I agree with that too. You play to the end. And the Steelers can do that. And they finally had a game, and well, we wish it would have been sooner, but things go different ways. And here we are, sitting at 6-7, chance to go to 500 on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. But we'll see if they can back it up again. But I thought Mitch did a pretty good job today because it was all about the run, man, wasn't it? Najee the ball, Sims the ball. It was all about the run.
Yeah. One thing I was exceptionally impressed with, though, from the Steelers coaching staff, and in particular Mike Tomlin today, was after that idiot play by Johnson, where he made that brilliant catch, he fought for those extra yards. He looked like a real quality top level wide receiver, and then he goes and does the stupid taunting thing.
Yeah,
did you see what Mike Tomlin did though? That he went over straight away,
called him an idiot,
put his arm around him. He might have done, but he went over straight away to him. He got hold of him and he was talking to him after, and I thought that was brilliant man management. The moment that he went over straight away and he dealt with it straight away, and he talked to him straight away. And you saw, I think it was an incident later on where he was about to start mouthing again, and I don't know whether you saw on the camera, but you saw Tomlin grabbed him and yanked him off the field before he could say anything.
That's the leadership you need from Tomlin too. It'd be funny to see if like Tomlin put like his shoulder into his shoulder pads and put like his finger into his neck or something, something really kind of aggressive like that. But that's what the coach is there for, to hold them in, because they're passionate. We get it. We understand they're passionate. You can lose your temper in a physical sport. You lose your mind for sure. It was a dumb play, but get him in check, and he had a good game. DJ should be proud today of today's game. Every time he came back for the football, right? That's his skill. His skill set's great. His right run ability, cuts off his left, his right, comes back to football, and he's getting to the point now where probably coaching is coming and saying, you know what? Stop dancing, just go forward. He's doing what Jalen Warren's doing. And we didn't even see. I like this too. There's different guys each week. We didn't even see Connor Hayward get the football too. Different guys each week.
No, he didn't have any receptions. But then, like you said, he only threw the ball 22 times. The only people who had targets in that game was Johnson 10, Pickens. Sorry, receptions. Johnson 10, Pickens 2, Warren 1, Sims 1, Gentry 1, Oshesky 1, and Boykin 1.
Boykin had a target.
Let's turn. Yeah, but he didn't get any yards. It was when he was thrown and he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. It was that one.
Okay.
Let's talk defense for a minute. Who stood out for you today on defense for the Steelers?
Highsmith, man, had a game. That one sack too. He had that. What do you do? That little spin move he does, and he was back in the backfield. He had a game. Cameron Hayward's turned up too. Ogunjobi early had some good plays too in the backfield. Even Devin Bush, when the defensive line was getting to their guy, he came down. Spillane to a certain degree had a pretty good game too. The secondary to me was pretty worrying in times. Minka holds them in check. Terrell Edmonds, but the cornerbacks, like we talked about before, now our mate Matty from TDU on BTSC, cornerback is a big issue. They're allowing things to happen. Other than that, they played pretty well.
Yeah, I think I said on your live stream, Mark, in that first half, we were getting burned by Sam Darnold. And it's like, yes, but it's Sam Darnold. And that's what was worrying. And I think the cornerbacks are an issue we do need to address. I thought Minka had a very good game again. I thought Minka was physical. I thought he got involved in a lot of his tackling. And Terrell Edmonds, did you see that hit on Darnold from Edmonds? But did you see what he did before he hit Darnold?
No.
He absolutely trucked the left tackle. He literally ran over the top of him.
He's physical, man. He's like a linebacker.
This is a safety going over the top of an offensive lineman. You see on the play, he literally goes at him and he just smashes into him. And this left tackle just goes bang down the ground.
Yeah, he's like a middle linebacker, man. He's a big fella. Like he's a physical guy. Comes down to the box. Also, Terrell Edmonds played a bit of like cornerback today too. They'll move things around. I never saw the play of Kazi, which is probably a good thing, right? I never saw Kazi in mix. I think he got burnt one time when Pierre and Kazi got burnt on that big play down the end zone. But I thought they all played pretty well.
That was at the Chuba Hubbard catch or whatever it was.
Wasn't that one? It was another one, but that one was kind of too. No. That's when Spillane got burnt on the coverage too. But I'm talking about Spillane just being there. I think Spillane was in the play with some run defense too. I thought he was in there, and that's his kind of role too. He's like a bulldozer and runs in there and just causes havoc to get in there, right? But I thought overall the middle linebacker stepped up and played well.
I thought the front seven did very well today. You take Ogunjobi, 3 tackles, 2 assisted tackles. Cam, 1 tackle, 2 assisted, 1.5 sacks today for Cam. I thought those 2 in particular great. TJ Watt got a sack and a half today. Highsmith, obviously, as we know, played very well. I thought they were on it today, and I thought Cam was really fired up for today's game. You could see when after he got that sack how absolutely fired up he was.
I got a question for you. Is this our best performance from both sides and teams as well? Because even the punting was better today, and the field goal kick from Boswell. Is this our best performance of the year?
I think it's our best complete performance, our best 60-minute and our best whole team performance of the year, yes. And, do you know what, Mark? I was trying to dispel one rumour. You know what? Before anyone says, yes, it's only Carolina, but Carolina have made steps forward since Matt Rule was sacked. Steve Wilkes, I'm going to give Steve Wilkes credit. Steve Wilkes is doing a good job with that team. He's taken a team that everyone said would tank and stink this season, and he's doing an okay job with them. And the fact that as well, before the game, everyone was talking about the Carolina run attack, the Carolina rush attack, they'll run the ball 45, 50 times. They'll rush the ball here. I mean, I don't know the exact stats, but I'm sure we held them under 100 yards today.
Oh, mate, less than that, 21 yards. 16 carries, 21 yards. Wow, that's amazing.
And this is a rush attack that have rushed over other teams that have caused other teams great trouble. And I just think credit where it's due. I think the Steelers beat the Panthers, and the Panthers are a team that have improved this year. And Steve Wilkes is getting the best out of what he's got in that team. And if you consider they've lost Robbie Anderson, they've lost Christian McCaffrey, but they've still got some decent players on that team. J.C. Horn, Brian Burns, who the Rams offered 2 first-round picks for.
He made a good play too. Brian Burns got the sack on Trubisky as well. He made a good play too. Mm-hmm.
DJ Moore is a very underrated receiver as well. They have got some decent players, and I don't want to hear this week it was only the Carolina Panthers. Number one, you can only beat what's in front of you, and number two, the Panthers have made steps forward since Steve Wilkes has taken over as the head coach of the team. I was really impressed with that. So
the thing is too, like because we were controlling the ball, the possession, we had 36 minutes, which is fantastic, right? You should win games. You had 36 minutes, control the ball, run it down their throat. The defense gets tired, and the offense is sitting on the sideline. They can't get in rhythm. You can't get in rhythm that way. Then our defense is healthy. This is the recipe for success: is running the football, keeping our defense fresh, and guys like Ogunjobi, Cameron Hayward were in those plays where they could really use all their energy to go out and get a sack or go out and get a big play. Run defense wise, the biggest play was 5 yards. 5 yards. So that's a fantastic play, man.
And Marcus frozen there. So, yeah.
Am I here?
You're still there, Mark? Yeah, you're still there, Mark. You froze for a minute.
That's all right.
Get the kangaroo running faster on that internet wheel.
Yeah, man. He's the koala bears are chewing the wires. Hey, man. Like honestly, run defense is really good, man. 21 yards? That's not bad.
I know. Hold any team to under 100 yards or even under 50 is good, but to hold them under 50 yards is absolutely fantastic. And I think, given the level of criticism that they had last week after conceding over 200 yards, to come back and kind of answer back in that fashion, I thought was pretty much spot on for me. As we sort of draw this together, Mark, today, and obviously talk about this victory. Let's give out some game balls to players on offense, defense, and to special teams. So let's start on the offensive side of the ball. Who would you give your game ball to on the offensive side of the ball, Mark?
How many can I give away? Just one?
I'll let you have 2.
Oh man. I have to give one to DJ for sure. DJ, I thought played a tremendous game. 10 for 10, almost 100 yards. I think he gets a game ball for sure. I want to split the other ball in half though. And I'm allowed to do that because I made the rule up. I'm going to cut that ball in half. Okay, I'm going to give half to Warren, and I'm going to give half to Trubisky. I have to. I think Trubisky played a good game. I think all the criticism that I gave him, a lot of fans like me gave him last week. I'm not saying I'm on the Trubisky train. I'm not saying he starts over Pickett. No way. Start Pickett. But I thought he played a good game. 17 for 22. He did what he needed to do. And Warren gets a half a game ball because Warren played a fantastic game and got his first TD. And hopefully Warren kept that TD, that football, man. But overall, I think the majority was the MVP on offense for me was DJ, man. He was playing like a Steeler that you want to like. Oh my, I've got number 18. Is my jersey. You know, he's that guy today. He played really well. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, Thomas Lukowski says Najee gets and DJ second. I'm going to go for. I think I agree with you. Jaylen Warren deserves one for his first NFL touchdown, and just the way he plays the game. That he fights. He shows spirit. And you know what? If all 53 players had shown the same fight, heart, and spirit as Warren, we would be 70. We'd honestly be contending now up there with the Bills, with the Bengals.
I love the way he runs, dude.
For the AFC.
I love the way he runs, head down, shoulders pad level. He's a small little guy, runs over him, dude. I love the way he runs.
You know, I think Warren. You know, Warren isn't. I mean, let's get this thing straight. Warren isn't as talented as Harris or as talented as Derrick Henry or whoever, but he makes up for what he lacks in talent with his heart, with his fight, and with his spirit. And you know what? I'd rather have 11 people with Jaylen Warren's heart than 11 players with bags of talent and no heart. So I think Warren definitely deserves a game ball. And the second one I want to give to Mitch Trubisky, because I think Mitch came out today. He proved his critics wrong. He's been getting an absolute shellacking in the media, shellacking in social media. He's been called all the names under the sun. Yeah, he's been called all the names under the sun. And it takes character to come back from what happened last week against the Ravens. You know, throwing those 3 interceptions to, you know, and getting and knowing, I think, in your heart of hearts that you've probably cost your team the game and having to sit and face those guys all week. It takes character to come back from that. So I think for the character, for the way he's gone out there and ran the offense, I think he deserves a game ball for me, definitely. So on the defensive side of the ball, Mark, who would you go for? Let's have 2 game balls again on the defensive side of the ball.
Defensive side, I kind of want to give like a. I guess I have to give Alex Highsmith one. If I'm going to give 2 away, I'll give Highsmith a game ball. And strangely enough, I want to give like one to Ogunjobi. I think he played well in the run defense. I think he really did. You know, I think he might be a guy that can build around for the short-term future, not a long-term future, but short-term future. Maybe go to the draft and get a tackle or defensive tackle, and then keep Hayward on one side and Ogunjobi on the other. And then I think he deserves some credit too. So there's a lot. All the guys played well except maybe the secondary. The cornerbacks didn't play too well.
Yeah. I think if I'm going to take that, I think I'm going to give first defensive game ball to Terrell Edmonds just for absolutely smashing that tackle. That was one of the moments of the game for me. I mean, to see a safety run over a tackle is just incredible.
I thought he was a bust, though. I thought he was. People gave up on him too, though. I thought he was a bust as well.
Yeah,
he's a great player, mate. Isn't he a great player?
He is, and he's like the Ryan Clark to the Troy Polamalu. You know, he is. Was it the Robin to Minka's Batman? You know, he lets Minka go and be Minka. And, you know, I think, you know, I was one of those Steeler fans at the start of the season that wanted to see Tyrann Mathieu signed. But on reflection, I don't think that would have been a good thing because Minka, Minka is the star. Minka is the ball hawk. Minka is the outstanding safety and probably one of the best players on the defense. And Edmonds understands his role. He understands that he's second fiddle to Minka. He understands that his job is to go out and support Minka. And he's happy doing that. And like Ryan Clark was with Troy Polamalu, you know, so for me, Terrell Edmonds won. Second game ball, I'm going to give to Cam Hayward. I thought Cam Hayward 1.5 sacks. He was fired up.
He did, mate.
He was criticised a little bit after the Ravens game for his performance. But I thought today he answered back. He came firing back and was the Cam Hayward we all know and love. And you know what? I love that guy to bits. I just absolutely love Cam to bits. His attitude, his commitment, his fight, the fact that, you know, if someone said to me, you know, show me what a Pittsburgh Steeler is, you'd show them a picture of Cam Hayward, wouldn't you? Cam Hayward is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He's definitely up there. And when he gets a bit of help from his supporting cast, it's not all on Cameron Hayward. I think he's one of the players that you saw that bull rush from him and chasing down Sam Darnold was fantastic. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think it was great to see. I think overall the defense played really, really well. We're giving out teams as well.
Yeah, let's go for teams as well. So let's give a game ball out for teams then.
I guess we can do people on the return and stuff like that too, or maybe the Gunners. But I guess, you know what? I'm going to give one to Boswell. I think Boswell's money, man. I think Boswell's so underrated. I'm just going to give one game ball out to Boswell. I think he deserves to be that 50-yarder. Helped us out big time.
Yeah.
I think he
I agree
deserves
with
it.
you, Boswell.
I think he's money, man. He's money. He's just like the Wizard of Boz. He's a guy.
Yeah, I agree with you. Obviously, a 50-yard field goal in, I don't know what the conditions were like there today in terms of kicking, but yeah, Boz is money, like you said. And you know what? You go into a game, and whatever game you go into, if it's overtime, if it's a tied game at the end of regulation, and you've the 55-yard field goal, you feel confident with Chris Boswell. You feel that you've got every chance of winning the game when you've got Boswell on your team. Just because the guy is he's money in the bank. He's just so cool under pressure. He's got the leg. He's got the accuracy. He's up there with Justin Tucker as one of the best NFL kickers.
He's
definitely.
It's hard to say. He's second fiddle to Tucker, right? They're 1 and 2. Tucker's percentage is like about 90%, although Tucker missed 2 field goals the other day. But Chris Boswell is a guy that can score you points. And Coach Tolman has a lot of faith in I thought they're going to punt that football, but they went out and got a field goal. They went up by 11 points, I believe it was. And I was like, okay. There we go, Boswell. I think I played well. I think Presley Harvin played a lot better today too in teams, of course. The teams didn't allow very many good returns as well, which is kind of good to see. But overall, Boswell, man, he's a guy that can just provide some money shots like that, run down the field, get to about the 40-yard line, have a chance of 50. Did well.
Yeah, I think final question for you, Mark, today is which I forgot to ask in the main bit was Matt Canada. Good game, bad game, okay game.
I thought he had a pretty good game, and maybe I was too critical at the start of the season, but I guess we are in the social media landscape of like, what did you do for me lately? We're so quick to judge, but that's just part of the game. That's part of the nature of the beast, right? But I thought he did pretty well. I thought Canada caught a great game. He didn't put Trubisky under too much pressure. He ran the ball a lot. Running the ball 45 times, Owen, man, is great. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Run the ball 45 times, you control the clock. So I think it's fantastic. I thought he played well today. Oh, he called a good game.
Yeah. 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you on that. Pepper asks, how do we feel about the Immaculate Reception 50th anniversary game?
Keen. There could be a possibility, guys. On we probably can't do. We have a commitment to not swear on this channel, and I won't do that ever because we're trying to build, I guess, a family friendly on this one. But I will be live streaming on Steel Nation Australia, and Britsburgh Owen will be live streaming on his channel, Britsburgh Owen. We might be doing a joint cast, depending if we can work things out for the first half. But I'm keen, man. I'm so keen.
Yeah, it's going to be massive, isn't it? It's going to be it's going to be a massive night. I think it's got so much significance around it. It's 1 day removed from the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. Obviously, that was 23rd December. This is 24th December for the East Coast of America. For me and Mark, it's Christmas Day. It's Christmas. Like I say, it's Christmas Day for me and Mark. It's like, I don't know for you, Mark, but it's kind of like the perfect Christmas present.
Oh, it's fantastic. Like I said in my stream today before, we're having breakfast in the morning. Then my parents are going to their friend's house. So then they're doing what they need to do. Then I'm having my beers here, and I'll be sinking the tins, and I'm ready for the day, pretty much. And people say, you want to tank for this, tank for that. Makes no sense. This is such a great day to remember a great player that is Franco Harris and what they're doing him to retire the jersey and stuff like that the night before. The overall Steelers history. You don't want to lose this game. You don't want to tank for a future draft pick. You want to go win this game at home, Christmas. It'd be nothing better than smashing the Raiders, who are beating the Patriots right now, but it'd be nothing better than smashing them, beating them at home, and eliminating them from the playoffs. And we have another chance. If we win that game and a few other games go our way, still got a chance. And I think it's meaningful football to a certain degree. It's meaningful football.
Absolutely, I can't wait for the game. I can't wait for that game on that Raiders game. I think it's gonna be fantastic.
That's my mate there. Smackdown under. Bring that one up. That's my mate Dylan in Australia. The only thing getting tanked is Mark after a case of JDs. I think so. That's my birthday the day before. It's Christmas Day. Come on, man. I'm excited for that game. And it's meaningful now because if the Pats lose and Chargers lose, it's meaningful football, man. We're 2 games away from the playoffs. Got to win them all, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing. It's professional pride. It's being a Steeler. It's knowing that like Troy Polamalu says, you don't disrespect the black and gold. You don't desecrate the uniform. You fight for that uniform. And that's what they've got to do for these last 3 games. And whether we are still in the mix for the playoffs or not in the mix for the playoffs, it does not matter at all. They've got to fight and they've got to win. And I can't wait for that game. It's going to be fantastic. And
playoffs would be a bonus. If we got a playoff game, it'd be a bonus. And I don't care. A lot of people say, well, you go to the playoffs, you're gonna get smacked by KC by 40 points. I don't care. It's a rookie quarterback. I don't care. It would be a bonus if we got there, if we had a hard wild card go. But you finished the season strong, and they're running I reckon they can run the football again. Now, can they stop? If they can stop Josh Jacobs, boy, that's going to be hard next week. But we got a whole week to talk about that.
I mean, Mark, obviously, playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about
playoffs.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
Playoffs? We're trying to win a game.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I love that.
Man. Okay. Pepper says he doesn't support tanking. She doesn't support tanking ever. No. And Cole will put, is it just me or is Canada really starting to turn the around? I think, like I've always said, I've said in recent weeks, I think he'll still be here next season, given the fact he's got a year to run on his deal. Anyway, guys, thank you so much to everyone who has joined us in the live chat. Makes it really worthwhile. Mark and I love interacting with you. We love your comments, your questions, your thoughts. It's fantastic. It's part of the thing that really makes what we do worthwhile. And, Mark and I have always said the same thing. We are Pittsburgh Steelers fans that want to produce content for you, the Steeler fan. That we feel that we try to talk about things from a position of authority because we know the team, we live the team day in, day out, like you guys do, and we love talking about the team, and you guys make it all worthwhile, and that's been fantastic. So, Mark, what are your final thoughts to see us out in this Steel Syndicate podcast post-game show?
Final thoughts is the Pats need to lose and the Chargers need to lose, and then the only bad thing happened this week was the Jaguars winning today. That's the only real bad thing. If the Pats lose and Chargers lose, then we have a chance where they have to lose 2 out of 3 the next 3 games. If they lose, there's a chance. Playoffs.
There's a chance.
Playoffs.
Absolutely. And Mark, one final question for you. The Bengals are currently playing the Buccaneers, right? Mm-hmm. Is it wrong for us to root for Tom Brady?
No. The funny thing right now is the Bengals and Ravens are pretty much solidified their chance for a playoff spot. So I guess, no, it's not. Like, we want to see the Bengals lose. So one of those guys is going to win the division, unfortunately. So we can't. We'll be, even if I even did the math during the show, if they tie the last game, the Bengals versus Ravens, they play each other, that might be the division game. They still, one of them are going to win, right? The Bengals will win with the tie. So yeah, it doesn't. So you tell me there's a chance. Exactly. I don't know. I just want to see the Bengals lose all the time. It doesn't matter. But that's a hard one. That's Tom Brady, and that's a hard game. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. I can't support Brady or the Bengals. Put me in a hard spot there, mate. In a hard spot.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And like I said, keep checking out the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate all week for new video content daily, breaking news videos, and obviously we'll be back next week. We'll have to work out how we're going to do a post-game show on Christmas Day after the
we'll
Raiders
that one
game.
out.
We'll work it out. We'll figure it out somehow. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Mark, can you see us out in your own indomitable style?
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.